Picture this. A house that looks normal on the outside, but holds the dark memory of something so monstrous, it would haunt anyone who stepped through its door. In 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered his entire family in cold blood at 112 Ocean Avenue, Amityville, New York. 6 lives taken in one terrifying night. The bloodstains didn't just stay on the walls. They seeped into the very bones of the house itself. And when the Lutz family moved in just a year later, they had no idea the house's dark past would come to life in terrifying ways. The murders were brutal. 6 lives lost in the dead of night. DeFeo's crime shocked the nation, but what shocked everyone even more was what followed. Could the house have been alive? Could something darker have been waiting for anyone who dared live there? This isn't just another ghost story, this is real. The house wasn't just a witness to violence, it absorbed it. People started whispering about its unsettling aura, the sense that the walls were watching. Was it the evil that took root from the murders, or was something more malevolent already there? Stay with me. The Lutz family's nightmare is only beginning. George and Kathy Lutz, alongside their 3 children, were looking for a fresh start. When they moved into 112 Ocean Avenue in December of 1975, they thought they had found their dream home. The house was large, with an idyllic setting surrounded by beautiful trees and a peaceful pond. But nothing about the house was peaceful. At first, everything seemed normal, until Kathy started feeling that something wasn't right. She couldn't put her finger on it, but the house felt wrong. It was as if the air was thick with something invisible pressing down on them. There was a constant sense of unease, something lurking just out of sight. Things began to feel colder in the house, unnaturally cold. It wasn't just the chill of winter. It was a deep, biting cold that seemed to creep from the walls, touching everything in its path. George woke up one night, feeling the intense cold all around him. The strange thing? He hadn't felt it when he went to bed. It was as though the house itself had changed while they slept. But that was just the beginning. The cold was just one sign that the house was alive with something dark. Then, things began to escalate in ways they couldn't explain. Strange, foul odors began to appear. At first, it was a faint smell, something like rotting meat. Kathy assumed it was a problem with the plumbing or something in the house she couldn't see. But these smells moved from room to room, as though they had a life of their own. No matter how much they cleaned, the odor would return, stronger and more putrid than before. And then the cold spots appeared. In one room, it would be freezing, and in the next, there would be a sudden warmth, even though the temperature outside hadn't changed. These weren't just drafts. They were pockets of cold air that seemed to follow them wherever they went, like invisible hands trying to touch them, to hold them in place. What was causing the cold? Was it something from the past, something buried within the walls, or something waiting for them to leave so it could fully awaken? It's easy to dismiss strange smells and cold air as just part of old houses. But what happened next could never be explained away. One night, while Kathy was cleaning, she noticed something horrifying. Green slime seeping from the walls. It wasn't just an isolated spot. It was everywhere. From the windows, the keyholes, the walls. It oozed like something alive, like the house itself was bleeding. This wasn't just the residue of old pipes or moisture. It was something unnatural, and no matter how many times Kathy cleaned it, it kept coming back, like a living force trying to claim its home. Kathy could hardly wrap her head around it. What could possibly cause this? No one could figure it out, and the slime, this slimy substance, seemed to appear whenever they weren't looking, like it was hiding from them. As if that wasn't enough, the family started seeing something even worse. The Lutz family's experiences became more intense. They saw figures, phantoms, shadows, and disturbing apparitions that flickered in and out of sight. George was the first to see the demonic pig with glowing red eyes, a hideous creature that seemed to watch him with an unnatural gaze. It stood outside the window, just standing there, staring with glowing eyes like it was waiting for something. Waiting for them. But Kathy had her own terrifying encounters. She started seeing children, pale-faced, whispering children, peeking out from corners, staring at her from the shadows. They didn't speak with words, but their presence was enough to chill her to the bone. Were these the children of the DeFeo family? Or was this something else? Something even darker? But what was most terrifying was the voices they started hearing. Voices that came from nowhere. Voices that whispered their names. Voices that spoke to them in the dead of night. One night, George felt something he couldn't explain. He was alone in the house when an unseen force attacked him, pressing him down, trapping him in place. It was as though the house had its claws in him, trying to hold him there forever. He couldn't move. He couldn't breathe. For the first time, George realized they weren't just dealing with ghosts or bad luck. They were dealing with something evil, something that didn't want them to leave. The family couldn't take it anymore. Fear, uncertainty, and terror pushed them to their breaking point. They fled. They left everything behind, all their belongings, without a single second thought. They had to escape before the house claimed them too. The question remains, was the Amityville Horror a hoax? Or did something truly evil exist within the walls of 112 Ocean Avenue? The Lutz family's lives were forever changed, but the haunting legacy of that house remains a chilling chapter in history. What do you think? Was it a hoax? Or did evil really linger in that house? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more spine-chilling true stories.